Yeah, but then we're
Okay, Ms. Atwood.
we're
Not giving it.
we're not
to
giving,
it.
you're right. We're allowing.
Notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a
If
meeting
they-
notice dated June 5th, 2023. Furthermore, on that date, a copy of such notice was sent to the Times, the Trentonian, and the Clerk of the Township of Hamilton. It was also posted on the bulletin board at the entrance to the boardroom in the Hamilton Square Administrative Building. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kanka,
I know.
Dr. McSheen,
Here.
Ms. Thornton,
Here.
Ms. Byrne,
Here.
Mr. Salantano,
Here.
Dr. Farrar,
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Here.
Ms. Harvey, here, Ms. Lombardo.
Here.
We have a quorum.
That's in the book.
Can I get a motion to enter into exec?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Whereas NJSA 10:4-13 requires adoption of the board to go into executive session. Be it resolved that the board pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, New Jersey, Title 18A, and the Hamilton
not
Township
gone.
Board of Education bylaw number 0166 hereby enter executive session to discuss a matter involving student matters, human resource matters. Be it further involved that the minutes of this executive session shall be made public following formal action by the board and or at the conclusion of any investigation, due process, proceeding, or litigation, so long as not prohibited by law and so long as the need for maintaining confidentiality no longer exists.
We are in the faculty room.
Good evening, everyone. So this evening, we're going to change things around a little bit. First, we're going to have the Board of Education announcements. So I'm going to go first. I had to come to a very personal decision. It took a lot of time and thought, but I'm gonna try and get through this without getting upset. I'm gonna have to resign at the end of the month. This will be my last board meeting. It's been a pleasure to serve the Hamilton Township Board for the past 9.5 years. I was appointed to the board in May of 2014. I ran for election in 2014, 17, and 2020. I was appointed VP in 2017 and the president in 2018 to president. During my time on the board, I've been a part of hiring a permanent superintendent after working with few interims. We hired Dr. Rocco, who I have had the pleasure of getting to know not only on a business level, but somewhat of a personal one also. I will miss the conversations, debates, and everything else that comes with the collaboration between. See, I had it so good. I'll miss the debates and with the conversations, debates, and everything else that comes with the collaboration between board and superintendent. During my time, we have had to figure out how to navigate through a pandemic, pass a referendum. We appointed 3 strong school principals, all of whom had strong Hamilton ties, who grew up in Hamilton and worked to bring our high schools together on many things. One of a big thing, our schools have been coming together to travel to Disney World. Our bands traveled together to Disney World and perform in parades, something that's never been done before. Some of our sports teams have combined. One particular has done for a few years, the ice hockey team. It is great to see more collaboration and less separation between the 3. We have placed many new wonderful principals throughout the district over the last 9 years, and we have lost some great ones also. I am proud of these accomplishments and so many more. The district has come a long way over the years, and I believe we are moving in the right direction. I will miss my little second family. Most of the senior staff came soon after I joined the board, some a little more recently. And have grown with me through the years. Marta Ardino's boys were just little kids and now in high school and one looking for college. I will miss hearing about their soccer games and the fun of having boys. My daughter was only going into her freshman year when I joined the board. Now she's a nurse living in North Carolina with her husband who's in the Air Force, and she has my first granddaughter. Patrick Carrick, who I believe is the best school board attorney in New Jersey, was hired just months after my appointment. Thank you for all you've done over the years to guide me and at times calm me down and be the voice of reason, especially the past 5.5 years while being president. I know we have some crazy times over the years, some nights not leaving board meetings till 2 a.m., but you're always there right with us. To think when we met, you had a family of 2, now you're a family of 5. I'm honored I got to know you a little part of your journey. Although so many things have changed, the one thing that has remained the same is I've always put the students and staff, wellness and safety, equity and happiness in making all my decisions, whether they were liked or not. I stayed true to what I promised I would do when elected. I may have not always seen eye to eye with my fellow board members, but I have truly tried to remain respectful of their thoughts and opinions, but still made the best decisions I could for the students and staff. I want to thank our staff, all of them, for all you do. Your hard work and dedication does not go unnoticed. My fellow board members, I wish you all the best going forward. I hope you all can work together to keep the best interests of the students in this district at the forefront of every decision you make. Please continue hard to bring more equity and diversity into our schools, especially in the upper level grades. Thank you, Dr. Rocco, senior staff, the board, Patrick, and all the Hamilton Township School District for your support and confidence in me over the years. I know it hasn't always been peaches and cream, but please know I respect and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to start in a different order, and I want to address our board president, Sue Lombardo, leaving. First of all, the community needs to know having a board president for 5.5 years consecutively is wonderful. Having consistency in a board, being able to rely on people, being able to set things up year in and year out. We have not always agreed on things, but we've always done what's right for kids. And you've always stayed true to that. And you've called me, and sometimes when you've called me, you've said, don't get mad at this. And sometimes I did.
Yeah.
But
And you
But-
could tell.
and you could tell, and she knows me too well. For 5.5 years working together, she knows me too.
Okay,
She's
don't
like, you're
stop talking to me now.
right. You're getting quiet. You're mad. And so I want to tell you how much I appreciate, though, the fact that I could call you any time of the day or night, weekend, holiday. You were always accessible. You heard the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sometimes there was some bad, but you were always there to support the district, support anybody in the district. And I think that's important to understand also. Whether it was an administrator, a teacher, a custodian, it didn't matter who the person was. If they were a member of the school district, Sue supported them. You've provided us great consistency. You've been a cheerleader for us. It's been exciting to listen as your family has grown and your daughter has had a child and has been married, and our children are not far apart, our girls, and they both were field hockey players. So we shared some commonality with that, but you will be missed. And I want to thank you for your service. For the public, these 9 people don't get paid. They run for election. They come here and they volunteer. They give hundreds of hours a year, if not thousands of hours, depending on which committee they're on. The board president gives probably 25, 30, or 50% more time than the rest of the board, and they give a tremendous amount of time. So on behalf of my senior staff, the school district, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for the school district for the entire time you've been a board member, and especially in a leadership role. And a small token of our appreciation is a plaque that highlights your leadership
Thank
here in
you.
the district.
Thank you.
Are you going next, Mrs. Thorne? Okay, no, go ahead. I'll go after you.
So I also want to, Sue, I want to thank you for being you. You have always been such an advocate for our students, our staff, our teachers, our community, because your heart was always in it. And you did everything you could to make sure that everything that we as a district did was in the best interests of our students. And I cannot thank you enough. You have spent countless hours working and making sure that our district is a better place. And it is in part to you. So thank you very much. It has been an absolute honor working with you. I thank you for your leadership. I thank you for your dedication, but most importantly, I thank you for your friendship. And you are going to be so missed. I have no words to express that. And again, please, I would love to be able to look out in the audience and hopefully you'll be there. So don't leave us completely. And again, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Mrs. Lombardo, while we have certainly shared differences over the last 7 years.
No, we haven't.
Never. I will always remember the strength you have shown over the last 18 months. I will remember you gaveling down community speakers who tried to appeal to a colleague through a tragic life event. I will remember you holding speakers to time limits. But I will remember you most for the courage you had to stand with me to call out a candidate in last year's school board race, a candidate who berated and bullied board members, a candidate who called us groomers and pedophiles and threatened to picket our homes. And when the candidate's outrageous social media posts were revealed, the two of us issued a statement to the press. We highlighted the critical pieces of our service as board members, that we serve a very diverse Hamilton community, that we are continually called upon to analyze and consider issues in the interest of others. We denounced the candidates' disparaging remarks about our LGBTQ students and our neighbors. We called out disparaging remarks about the district's students of color when the candidate suggested those students were being moved to district schools in order to diminish school achievement. This, for me, will always be your shining moment as board president. May you enjoy the next chapter of your life.
Thank you. You good, Dr. Rocco?
Don't go nowhere.
Good boy.
Susan, we kind of know each other from back in the neighborhood. You and my daughter grew up simultaneously. You were a fighter back then. You're still a fighter. And I do appreciate your candor at times. I appreciate keeping me straight at times. That's hard to do. But more so, the longevity you had in that seat, I believe, sets a record. I have an old newspaper when, I guess it was a Democratic organization with the Crockett's, because there was no Republicans in Hamilton Township at the time. And that newspaper, if I can find it, yeah, I'll give it to you for the archives. It was a newspaper, okay? Size of the old Trentonian. And in it, their candidates would get, and this was in an April election, would get anywhere between 14 and 18,000 votes. They spent an awful lot of money on the schools. And I believe you were here at the time, not as an adult, maybe as a youngster, when this school district started to explode not only with children, but with families that were having children, and also the building of the new schools. I kind of remember fighting back against additions to schools because I didn't understand at that particular time that we had this influx of youngsters. I figured, well, let's wait a little bit and do it as a study and move on. And your family was part of that. We had part of that, that movement, and they were right. But in the end, I want to say thank you for your service with us. In fact, I believe what I forgot to say before, I probably known you longer than the total of the rest of this board. I've known you longer than that. And at times, I guess, yeah, we didn't always agree, but no need to take exception to it and call people names. We never did that. But anyhow, once again, thank you. When you move, I'm going to miss you in the neighborhood, because when I go by your house every day, I make sure Jim's motorcycle is still there and nobody hit it or stole it during the night. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Susan, I know I have not been on the board for very long, but I also want to thank you so much for your service. I think you probably had some reservations about me joining the board. But I just want the public to know that she has been the ultimate professional. And you have taught me how to be on the board. You've answered all my questions. You're always available. And I just wanted to thank you so much for your time and your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would echo Mrs. Burns's comments. When I joined the board, it was during the pandemic and we weren't really interacting with each other. So it was a very unique time, but you reached out and made me feel very comfortable in joining the board and explaining everything that I would need to know. And your phone is always open for any question that we might have. And you've been very supportive in, you go above and beyond. The public has no idea the amount of time that you put in, not just to these official duties, but to the unofficial duties of helping the other board members. So I want to thank you and join in Mrs. Burns's comments.
Thank you, Christina. Oh, geez, I'm not gonna be able to fit out of here.
Susan, I've been on this board a long time, and I was on the board before you came here. And I've been asked many times to run for that seat. And the most appreciative thing that I have for you is that you took that burden and ran with it with integrity. And you were very, very professional in your answers and everything to the public. I just appreciate what you've done for this board. And I never wanted to sit up there between the board attorney and the superintendent. I like my seat right here.
They're not too bad.
And I know they're not bad guys, but I'd just rather stay right here.
Mhm.
It's closer to the exit. But I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you.
And like everybody else has said, Susan's phone was always open. If I had any questions about anything, she called me many times. I called her many times, and we discussed many, many things over the years. And we agreed and we disagreed, but we all had one thing in common, and that was to try to do the best for the kids in this district. And we're not going to, the people in the public aren't going to agree to everything that we do, but that's okay. We're all here for the same thing, and we're all going to succeed one way or the other. And I thank you for your service to the district, and good luck with your daughter down in North Carolina, right?
Thank
luck.
you, Rich. Okay, that's fine.
Since we're all going around,
Oh, no.
I'll keep it short and sweet, though. I had the opportunity to attend board meetings for, I guess, about 2 years or so before I ran. and join the board. And from being a member of the public at the board meetings, sometimes it's challenging to watch the board interact with each other in ways that are antagonistic, or it could feel like it's not too forthcoming. And once I've been able to join the board, I could see why that is a challenge. And I think you, Ms. President, have done a good job at being respectful and understanding that, the amount of power and information that we kind of hold, not that it's a huge amount of power, but it is a power, is something that should be respected. And it's very challenging at times, I can imagine. I have not been president. But I want to thank you for setting an example for how we should be moving. And I'm always for moving forward in better ways. So I'm not saying that you're perfect, but I think the board as a whole would be better to follow the footsteps that you've kind of set ahead for us. So thank you for setting
I
that.
appreciate that.
I'm sorry, now I have to
Making
go.
this easy.
So, when I joined the board, Ms. Lombardo didn't vote for me to join. And, I was under the impression that she was like, she said she was very welcoming, but I did not take her seriously. And she was very welcoming. Other people were welcome as well. But she would provide me with information. And for a while, I would think, is she trying to deceive me with this information? And it wouldn't have been that hard, honestly. I didn't know about a variety of things. She could have deceived me into misrepresenting information to have me vote a different way or speak a different way. And she actively made the decision not to. So I worked to protect me, and you didn't have to do that. And that speaks to the integrity that Rich was pointing to, not only with the public, but also with us. So that's very valuable. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Wow.
Thank you for your service.
I hope my husband's watching and hearing
We'll send them.
how wonderful I am.
We'll send.
Thank you, everyone. And it's not easy, and I don't like being, sometimes it gets hard. And I try to be the president that involved everyone. I don't think there was anything that Dr. Rocco told me that I didn't share with each of you as soon as I could. Some take it and don't do that, and I think I tried to do that every chance I got. So hopefully whoever's next in the seat, and I know it will be Ms. Thornton first, and then in January, you remember that you're only the president really when you're sitting here and for some things, but I always made sure I called everyone and told them when it was something, whether I had to or not, because I think we're all one. And you're the president when you're sitting here to control, well, this looks like a very nice crowd and we won't have a problem this evening. But some crowds and some issues, and through the pandemic, I think it was tough.
Mhm.
But other than that, we're all one, and we shouldn't ever just act as one. So thank you for all your kind comments. Now we can continue with what we're here to do.
Okay. Thank
Dr.
you.
Rocco?
Thank you, President Lombardo. In just a week, our seniors will graduate from our district, and I want to congratulate the class of 2023. Some of our seniors are going on to study at college. Some of our seniors are going on to work. Some of our seniors are going to learn a trade, and some of our seniors are going into the armed forces. We well in their future endeavors, and thank our students who are going into the armed forces for their willingness to defend our country. Our turf update, the West turf and track are done. I don't know if you went past it, but they are complete. Nottingham's drainage system is in, the retention basin is done, the concrete is poured, and the stone is down. If you watch our social media feeds, I put out an update for Steinert and for Nottingham today. Steinert's field has been ripped up. The excess dirt is almost all gone. The remaining dirt is being compacted, and they were pouring some concrete today. As I mentioned last month and previous months, the new turf surface at all schools will be available for our many sports, our marching bands, our gym classes, and our other school events. It is not a one sport field, but rather a facility for sports activities and events. Huge congratulations to the Steiner softball team. On Saturday night, they won the Group 3 state championship. In July, you'll get a chance to clap again for them because we've invited them to come to the board meeting to recognize their achievement. They have been fantastic the last couple of years, getting into the state championships every year. We had a computer science trip. Once again, students from all 3 high schools were able to participate in the College of New Jersey's student workshop in artificial intelligence. This year's focus was human crowd environment and robotics. Many thanks to TCNJ for also taking care of their transportation costs. We have new teacher induction. We want to congratulate our year 4 new hires. 50 staff members presented their passion projects, action research on June 5th. We are very proud of them, and they will be tenured staff members come September 1st. This is the first group of hired teachers that have gone through our 4-year induction program, which is additional professional development for non-tenured staff. At this moment, there is another celebration happening, the retirement of Frank Gatto. And unfortunately, he is not here tonight because he is celebrating his retirement, but we want to thank him for his service to this district. Over the last few years, he has been the president of HTEA. Frank and I often say that we don't always agree, but we find common ground and we work to do what's right for our school district, for our students, for our staff and the community. And I'd like to thank him for always staying true to that goal. Another big congratulations to an individual in the back with the black hat on and manning the camera. I'd like to congratulate he's hating every second of this, and it's fine. It's okay, because he deserves that. He is the HTV studio manager, Mike D'Elia, but he is also our 2022-2023 Technology Representative of the Year. And this is something that is selected across the district, and the technology department has been doing this for a couple of years. So these accolades and this recognition comes from the entire district. Mike, you do an amazing job here. You film these meetings, you stay late, you film events at our buildings, you film our principals' welcome messages. You and another principal put on your own movie every year to start the school year. But what you always do is you make us look good, no matter what the video is, no matter what it is. And when Mike films me and we film and I'll do my first run and I go, all right, we're good. He goes, yeah, it was good, but do another one, right? And I know maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. But by the 4th or 5th time, I realize Mike has enough video to make me look good. So watch those videos. Every once in a while, there's a little click in there and Mike has made a cut. Mike, you're phenomenal at what you do. The recognition is deserved. Congratulations to you.
Mike, I also want to say you'll be truly missed. And I remember when you took our pictures for our IDs, every time you had to take our picture, I'm like, no, can you take that one again? Can you crop that? Can you stand taller? Can you, you have to make sure the face looks right, whether you look like that or not. But so thank you and congratulations.
My last item, next year, I know it's hard to believe, but we're talking about next year. This is the last board meeting for the 22-23 school year. But next year's theme is Every Day Counts. This will be the theme that leads to action for myself, my senior staff, district and building leaders, faculty and staff, and students. Each year, we have had a general theme that has run throughout the year. I'm excited for our new theme and to see how our whole school community demonstrates every day counts. And I ask that our entire school community join us in that theme from September to June. Finally, I wish everyone a wonderful and relaxing summer. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Aaron from Steiner High School. Congratulations on your graduation coming soon.
Thank you.
You have her.
So as you
it
mentioned,
April?
graduation is on June 21st, sorry. At 7:30 at the Cure Arena, I believe. We had our scholarship senior awards night at Rider University. We had our senior supper and a nice slideshow to remember all of our great memories throughout the year. As Dr. Rocco did mention, our softball Group 3 won the state championship on Saturday, June 10th. Ruby Crowell, Greg Kasner, and Haley Zimmerman competed in the track sectionals. We had decision day. There were a lot of great colleges that people are going to and a lot of great apparel. We had our powder puff game at West and we did win 24-6 on their $2 million turf. BSU had their trip. We went to Washington, DC, and it was amazing. We had a marine bio camp. They went to the Camden Aquarium to study. We had yearbook signing today at 2:30 to 3:30. We had the honor of the What's My Name Foundation Assembly coming and talking about the safety of ride sharing for Samantha that died in that Uber. And we had our Teen Arts Award show. And on the Facebook, it said there was a mixed selected choir ranked distinguishes. Me and Mr. Rogers could not figure out what that meant, but hopefully you guys do. And yeah, that is our report. And I want to say thank you for having me as school board representative for this school year. And to Mrs. Lombardo, I hope you fulfill your dreams and you did a great job in the district.
Thank you.
You're welcome. From the
Now we have
outside
one more
looking in-
thing for you, if you could come up for us.
Me? Come.
We have a nice certificate of appreciation for you. Is Laura here? Still? Laura Gilch or no? I thought she was here. Want to get a picture. Thanks. Dr. Rocco, can you wait for Jim to get a picture? Jim. Oh, Laura was here.
So if you don't come to all the meetings, Erin is always here. Erin is always doing the reporting. And one time her two fellow student reps couldn't stay and thank you. And Erin actually did the reports for everybody. And that's how dedicated she is. So Erin, thank you for always being here and always giving us great information. And we wish you the best on after graduation.
Thank you.
Mrs. Lombardo, I
Now,
just,
do we have any board announcements?
I just want to say that I asked Erin where she was going to school and she said Rowan and then law school. I think she's going to follow in Mr. Carrick's footsteps.
He'll
I
have
don't
an
know.
open spot for you when you come back. Does any Board of Education members have any announcements? Okay.
I do.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I was able to attend all three of our high schools awards, senior awards night. So Steiner, Nottingham, and Hamilton West. It's always one of my favorite nights of the year. And I want to thank all of the organizations that are so generous to our students, as well as I wanted to congratulate all of our students and their families for all the hard work that they've put into it. It was really three wonderful nights to be able to attend. I also had the honor of attending today a graduation ceremony for our students graduating from our transition program here in Hamilton. And it was an absolutely amazing event. And I wanted to thank Ms. Audino and Student Services Department for putting together such a wonderful program. And I wanted to wish our graduating students all the best.
Thank you. Okay, next, we're going to honor some very special people we have here in the audience. It's going to be our recognition of the retired employees. Dr. Actabello and Dr. Rocco.
Yep. Thank you. Tonight, we're going to recognize our retirees. A number of them were not able to make it tonight, but a number of you are here. First, let me say thank you for your service to this school district. Each one of you, in whatever role you have had with us, has done a wonderful job working with us together to make this one Hamilton, to make sure our students have what they need, to make sure that our staff has what they need, and to make sure that learning happens every day. So on behalf of myself, my senior staff, the leadership team, the Board of Education, thank you for your service to the school district.
Okay, the following individuals indicated that they could be here tonight, so we would like to call them up. First one would be Kathleen Stever, who dedicated 43 years to the district.
Very well.
He already got his first haircut.
Already a year.
Next, we'd like to take a moment to recognize Deborah King, who dedicated 38 years to the Hamilton Township School District.
I know everybody. I have a story about everybody now.
She was scared to take care of her.
Next, we'll recognize Donna Sloboda with 34 years. Shirley Matlack with 33 years. Jennifer McKeever, 28 years.
You want to go back? Yeah. Well, that's different than that.
Yeah, luxury resort.
Jacqueline Precop, 26 years. Kathleen Shell, 25 years. Nate Weber, 24 years. Marianne Harris, 23 years. Rosaire, 23 years. Wendy Quaval, 23 years. Beth Waller, 23 years. Cynthia Corella, 16 years. And Donna Glum with 4 years. Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Next, we're gonna have the board committee reports. Mr. Kanka. Your board committee report.
Good evening, everyone. The Finance and Operation Committee met for initiatives on June 7th at 8:30 a.m. I would like to thank committee members, Mrs. Harvey and Mr. Salentano, and the entire senior staff for attending. First up on the agenda was Dr. Rocco giving his communications report for the district. Then we moved into some initiative items. There was some track and field updates. And everyone has seen the postings by several people on the completion of the West Field. Really turned out fantastic. The North Field and the East Field, as of now, are on schedule. And work is continuing at a pretty quick pace. We spoke about access to the field, the West Field by the public. And there hasn't been there's a discussion going on with the board, with the committee, that will be something of a report will be presented to the board on what we're going to do about access to the field after hours. There was a request by Hamilton High School West to replace the sign at Clinton and Park Avenue with an LED sign. The committee discussed this and agreed to move forward once we find out if the infrastructure of the new sign can be is adaptable. The infrastructure from the old sign is adaptable to the new signs, especially the wiring and the electrical circuit going into the building. Then we discussed the subscription busing for next year. The annual charge will not be increased. It's going to stay the same at $350 a student and $315 per sibling. On the June agenda, there is the opening of the bids for the University Height Wilson HVAC Yardville Boiler Project. It's on tonight's agenda for approval. The bid openings were on June the 6th. We also sent out a bid request for the kitchen for Mercerville School. Unfortunately, the bid was significantly higher than was the budget that was allowed for the job. So, and there was some questions about lead time for the equipment for that project. So the committee agreed to reject all bids and rebid this project for the rebid it in the fall for the summer of 2024. The budgeted amount was brought forth was 140 to 160,000, and the lowest bidder was 293,000. So we we felt that it should go out for rebids since it was almost 100% higher than what we had budgeted for. Then it was the waste removal contract was up for bid. The current vendor, which is Waste Management, was the low bidder for the waste removal for the entire district, but there was a significant increase in the cost to the district of nearly 30%. The annual June motions reviewed the following the annual business operation motions, and they will all be on the June agenda tonight for the new school year. It's going to be purchasing tuition rates, resolution to pay bills, make budget transfers, requests for tax entitlements, annual contracts reporting, depositories, transfers, and surplus to capital reserve, capital maintenance reserve. There was also our insurance renewals were up for renewing our property insurance, workman's comp. There was some let's see, Utica, which is our current carrier for our property insurance. There was an approximately 10% increase on that. I'll go back to workman's comp. Our cyber and our E&O renewals shows some reductions. E&O was reduced from last year by 10%, and cyber was down about 25%. If everybody on the board remembers, we had some discussion on the cyber on the significant increases, but there was a 25% reduction this year. Our workman's comp premiums increased due to increasing claims after several years of significant reductions. There's going to be a 50% increase in our premiums for workman's comp. Then we discussed, we went into health benefits, Benecard, our prescription plan. There's no change in the plan or the premiums. The dental, the same. Under the medical, we won't know what the rates will be until they come out by the state in January of 2024. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed on that one, that it stays significantly within our means to make those payments. Food service prices for 23-24. It's on the agenda. There's no increase for that year, the next year, but we still are having some significant challenges for collections for the money that's owed to the district. So I'm hoping that the people who are hearing this, and if they have any outstanding balances, please see if you can make any type of arrangements to get these charges reduced. We talked about the school, the appointment of the school treasurer. There's no change there. The summer projects, capital projects for the summer, the Greenwood HVAC, which work has already started. They're working nights and weekends, and there's no interruption to the school because they're gaining access to the school through a basement window, which does not affect any disruption with the students. The Wilson and Cruiser Modular Classroom Project has the work at Wilson has begun, but the Cruiser work will not start until school ends. And that's really my report. I have nothing on
Negotiations.
negotiations. If any of my committee members have a question, I'll be more than happy to answer it if I can, or anybody from the board. And I tried to make this report as short as possible for Mrs. Lombardo.
Thank you. Dr. Farrar?
Mr. Kanka, I know the subscription bus service information is on the website. I believe it's under the business office, is it not? And is there, last year I had a parent contact me, which is why I'm bringing this up. There's a deadline by which applications have to be in. Can Ms. Atwood answer that?
I have to defer to Mrs. Atwood
Okay.
on that.
Yes, it's part of the program. I believe it's in July. We request those to be submitted to us, although we do take applications after that. It's at first, what's most important, it's first come, first serve. And we can't find and identify those seats until we fill all the other seats and finish our routes. So while I encourage everybody to get their application, and as soon as the board approves it tonight, because it is a first come, first serve, we wouldn't notify parents until late, probably even the first week in September, late August, but I think it's even in September if there's seats available. And we will refund you if there are none.
Thank
And
you.
My other question is, how are we doing space-wise? Are we getting any portables this year or anything like that? Did I miss that? Yes.
Portables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, as Mr. Kank indicated, in our budget in the current year, but we couldn't get it completed last summer because of delay in delivery, was a portable modular classroom here at Wilson and one at Cooser. And in our budget for next year, we also budgeted for another one here at Wilson, but that won't start until a year from now.
Okay, thank you. It was hard to hear you, Mr. Kanka, sorry.
Dr. Farrar, you want to do your report?
Yes,
Oh, I got one more thing. Our next meeting is scheduled for July 12th at 8:30
In the morning again?
in the morning. 8:30
I know.
with your coffee in hand, Mr.
Your
Solomon.
committee goes to bed too early. He has to have it in the morning.
Thank you very much.
I didn't hear me.
the CNI committee also met on June 7th with all the members in attendance. Mr. Scotto first updated us on what is called the new teacher induction. Heard a little bit from Dr. Rocco. This program started 4 years ago under an agreement with the district and the teachers union, and essentially supports the district's new teachers to grow and develop as educational leaders during their pre-tenure years. The first year of the program allows teachers to explore a variety of educational topics from a menu of options. And through this exploration, by year 2 of the program, teachers are asked to select a topic to explore on a deeper level, something that Mr. Scotto calls a passion project. In essence, what more would you like to know about an area of education? The first group of 50 teachers, as Dr. Rocco said, completed the induction program on June 5th through presenting what they discovered on those passion project adventures. Some of the projects included motivating upper elementary students in writing, classroom management in a phys ed setting, or technology to support learning in pre-K. The rest of our meeting looked at the agenda items that we will be voting on tonight, most especially the federal grant dollars coming into the district for the 23-24 school year. CNI item 9 asks us to approve the ESSA monies. Those are the title dollars. ESSA stands for Every Student Succeeds. The largest amount of over 2 million are Title I funds. Those dollars will be shared across 7 district elementary schools and 2 middle schools. The district also received just under 194,000 under 2 sections of Title III. And those dollars are specifically marked for language instruction for English language learners and students who are immigrants. Item 10 asks that we accept the Perkins Grant funds, an allocation of $57,524. These funds support the district's career and technical education programs at the high school level, which include business management and administration, finance, and marketing. Item 4 asks us to approve the application for grant funding for Ms. Audino's department, and IDEAS grants support special education services. Remember that item 2 has been put on hold because we did not receive the funding amounts. Finally, Ms. Furlado spoke with the committee about upgrading the district's career and college planning tool. The district has used Naviance for many years. This platform essentially allows students to explore or create a path for a college education. Students can research colleges, they can learn about and study, for example, exams like SAT or the ACT. And on the district side, grades and recommendations, anything that needs to be included in a college application goes into Naviance and comes from that platform. Ms. Furlado shared with the committee that Naviance is over 20 years old and has essentially become stagnant in its offerings. Customer service to the district has been lacking, and some of the options that Naviance initially offered for free are now a la carte offerings costing more money. High school guidance counselors wanted to explore other options given the availability of new platforms. And after reviewing some of those new platforms, Ms. Furlado and the counselors would like to move the district to a new platform called School Links. And part of the reason for this move is the ease of using the School Links platform for both students and families. It is a more modern app incorporating many of the features one sees on more modern platforms that kids use today. In her presentation to the committee, Ms. Furlado stressed that Naviance was essentially for students planning to go to college. School Links, on the other hand, has a component which allows students to explore the various trades open to them, along with the options as to how to enter those trades. The feature which stood out to the counselors, Ms. Furlado noted, was the Ask the Mentor feature. Students headed to a trade or college can submit questions to be answered by people in a particular trade or profession. The questions are submitted anonymously and vetted by people at School Links. The question is then sent to the appropriate mentor, who also has been vetted by School Links. That person records an answer to the question via video. That answer is vetted by School Links and then sent back to the student. There is absolutely no direct contact between our students and any adults. The price point for School Links is equivalent to Naviance, but School Links is more robust in its offerings. And this is item number 7. That's all I have to tell you.
Thank you. You have a question, Ms.
Excuse
Fleur?
me.
Just a comment.
Go ahead.
So in regards to School Links, thank you, Dr. Farrar, for speaking about that. As we've talked before, Naviance is such a wonderful resource for our students, and it's great to hear that School Links has even additional resources and programs that we can offer them, especially with the trades. And to have that piece, I think, is really great moving forward. So thank you very much for that.
Madam President, I had a question.
Dr. Artabello, I think I checked already. I did,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I had a question
Go
that
ahead, Ms.
I forgot
Burns.
to ask during committee, and it's for Mr. Scotto. I'm just wondering, we're talking about changing our date in August. So which means I won't be here. So I'm wondering, is it possible for the board and the community to get an update on the 2020 in July?
Sorry. Is that a question for our board meeting?
Sorry?
In here.
There's a
We
question
can't
with the
hear
clerk.
very well.
Anything, really. It's like the
Can I
gecko.
ask it, right?
I couldn't
Yeah.
hear what she had to say.
She can somebody answer that for her?
The next meeting, the next committee meeting.
The next committee meeting.
No, I asked Mr. Scotto a question.
You want an update at the next committee meeting?
For the next board meeting.
Well, he can answer whichever, the committee meeting
Well,
or,
both, I
and or
guess.
for the public, because I know that some constituents have reached out to me wondering an update. Thank you.
You want it at the next committee and board meeting, correct, for July? The
And
board
or.
meeting and the committee meeting, right, in July? Okay. So
I can certainly take care of that, and I would probably begin with the committee process.
for July, when are you going to say?
Yeah, that
We're
makes
not assuming for September. Yeah.
Was that not clear? I'm sorry.
He said, yes, I'm sorry, maybe it's me. I'm having a very hard time hearing.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him.
I'll certainly take care of that, and I'll begin with starting informing the board through the committee process.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ms. Thornton, did you have something? Or did you ask it already? Okay, you ready for yours? Okay, go ahead.
For the Personnel Committee, we met on June 7th. All committee members were present as well as senior staff. Dr. Rocco shared communications with us on various items, including the update on the high school fields. Over and discussed various items. There are 2 job descriptions that you will see on the agenda for this evening. Administrative assistant to guidance, as well as board certified behavior analyst. They are on the agenda for this evening. And we also discussed additional items that are on the agenda for this evening, the trades calendar, holiday calendar, as well as the 12-month employee holiday calendar. And as we do each month, Dr. Copeland kept us informed on vacant positions within the district and how we are working to fill them. And that is all that I have to report, unless some of my committee members have anything additional to add.
Do you have anything for the retirements, or do we don't have any on this month? We have any retirements on this month?
We do, but I'll do that under the.
Oh, that's right,
agenda.
personnel, sorry.
Great, that's okay.
Anybody have any questions on the monthly suspension report? The monthly HIB report? Or the monthly health report? Okay. I checked, there was nobody signed up for the first meeting of the public. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, there's nobody signed up for the hearing of the public for the first time agenda. So we're going to move to curriculum instruction. You want to bring us through those motions?
Oh, sure. I wasn't ready for that. I was waiting for people to come talk. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 11.
Second.
What did we just do? 1 through 11 on CNI.
Anybody have any questions or comments on them?
I'll just go through the gift donations.
Yes.
Real quick. So we have 3 for tonight. The first one is to Greenwood from Amazon Business for the value of $333, a set of headphones for educational media. And then 2 from the Sayin Elementary PTA to the school. The first is pretty cool. It's a brand new double-sided announcement sign that goes outside the building. The value of $7,000. And then they're also donating a playground bench for the value of $1,600.
Thank you. Mr. Kanka?
Wait, we have to take a vote. Right.
We didn't vote yet, did we?
Oh, we didn't vote, sorry.
Mrs. Lombardo, wait, you've been doing this all these years. What happened?
I was
Get out
saying,
your real-
people are telling me they can't hear over here and back there, so we gotta try and, I was answering saying, okay, I'll tell somebody about hearing. Go ahead. Can you hear us better now? Anybody? No?
You
Can you
almost
hear
got to
us,
get up
Katie?
on top of it.
Katie, are you able to hear us okay? Okay.
Yes. Mr. Kanka,
Yes.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes.
Ms. Thornton,
Yes.
Ms. Byrne,
Go ahead. Yes.
All right, I didn't even hear what we're voting for.
The CNI agenda, Mrs. Byrne.
Yes.
Mr. Celentano,
Yes.
Dr. Ferrara.
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Ms. Harvey,
Yes.
Ms. Lombardo,
Yes.
motions pass.
Okay, now Mr. Kanka, Finance and Operations.
As per recommendation of the superintendent, I move finance and operations motions 1 through 33.
Second.
Anybody have any questions on any of those? Seeing none, Ms. Atwood?
Mr. Kanka,
I'm voting yes on everything but 28, no on 28.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes.
Ms. Thornton,
I will abstain on, sorry. Motion 10, page 27, lines 15 and 16, yes on all others.
Ms. Byrne,
Yes, but abstain on bills list number 10, check 239154, please.
number 10, can you repeat that last statement?
Yes. Check number,
Oh, check number.
yeah,
Thank you.
239154, please. Thank you.
Mr. Salantano?
Yes, and no to number 28. Did you get that? Because I almost
Yes,
did
no
there
on number
myself.
28. Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
Yes on numbers 1 through 27 and 29 to 33, and no on number 28.
Ms. Lombardo?
Yes, I guess I can't ask a question now, right? Why that whole committee voted no on the one? The whole committee. Yeah. Ms. Thornton?
Is that is that last one a yes, Ms. Lombardo?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to ask it now, though. No, I voted yes because I just was curious.
Oh, yes.
'Cause the
Okay,
whole committee
motion's
voted
passed.
no, and the rest of us
Happy with it.
should have probably been put in the insight on that. But go ahead, we can't talk about it now.
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move personnel items 1 through 17.
Second.
Anybody have any questions on those? Ms. Thornton? The retirements?
Oh, I apologize.
Before Ms. Glonick gets up and remind you about it. She didn't hear me.
So I'd like to go through the retirements. This
You gotta
eve-
speak up in the
Sorry.
mic. They can't hear you.
Just-
That-
I
just
wanted
hold
to
it all the way your face.
acknowledge our retirements for this evening. I have a math teacher from Reynolds Middle School, 18 years of service, Linda Rett. I would like to thank you for your dedication to Hamilton School District, and we wish you all the best in your retirement.
Thank you. Ms. Atwood?
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
I do need to abstain on item number 1E1, although I do need to abstain on that. I have the absolute confidence in this individual, and yes on all others.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Salantano?
Yes,
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
I'd like to abstain on number 3B2 and 6BL40, and yes to all others.
Ms. Lombardo?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Yes. So you have a new safety coordinator. Did you hear that? Okay, Dr. Rocco has a couple announcements about 2 of our new appointments.
So we appointed a lot of people that are important to our district. I want to point out 2 in the very back. Bob Joshio will be our new school safety coordinator. Bob, I'm not sure if you have an agenda or you have something you want to say that's in your hand. All right, so
I thought maybe you had a speech for us.
we just wanted to check, and Bob, welcome, and Bob plays a very vital role here in Hamilton Township. He has great experience, and we look forward to working with Bob as we implement a lot of new safety and security in this district. The second person, we have just appointed the new Cruiser principal, Nydia Peak. So welcome to Hamilton. I'd also like to give a shout out to a number of Cruiser staff that are here tonight supporting Nydia, and also Thank you for that. And Nydia was at Cruiser today. And Nydia, if you'd like to just come up and just say hello for a second.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, and thank you to the board and Dr. Rocco and the administrative team that was on the interview committee. I am extremely honored and humbled by the opportunity to be able to continue the great work that has been happening at Cruiser Elementary School. If I may, I would like to address our Spanish-speaking community. Gracias a nuestra comunidad hispana de la Escuela de Cruiser Elementary School, estoy muy privilegiada por tener esta oportunidad de servirle a todos ustedes. Es un gran honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Okay, next for other business, I want our attorney, Patrick Carrick. I know a couple of board members had a couple of questions on what the next process is for my replacement, which I know is going to be extremely hard to do, but he'll try and explain that process so that the board members and the community that might not know the process, because we have done it in the past, will know what the next steps will be.
Okay, everyone can hear me. First off, I would also like to just join in very briefly and say thank you to Miss Lombardo, who I've got to work with quite a bit for the last 9 years. And, you know, talking about replacing her, let's start with the fact that it's my legal opinion she's not replaceable. But we will do our best. In terms of the presidency, so under the bylaws and under state statute, number one, you only get one opportunity on an annual basis to elect a president. That occurs at the reorg meeting. If you actually don't do it at the reorg meeting, you lose the opportunity to elect a president, and the executive county superintendent picks your president. And so there is no opportunity under statute to have a second election for president during the life of a board. So what happens under your bylaws is it provides that the vice president assumes the role and responsibility and the duties of the president. And so Ms. Thornton, beginning next month, will have the heavy burden of refereeing. And so it goes in that direction forward. In terms of the vacancy process, so we've been through this process quite a number of times. Basically, shortly after this meeting, we'll issue the advertisement that we've consistently issued when there is a board vacancy. That advertisement will be publicly placed out there. It provides information to the public about the qualifications to be a school board member and what they need to submit to be interviewed at an upcoming board meeting where the Board of Education will conduct the interview and then deliberate and make a decision to fill the vacancy. It will require, there'll be 8 board members at that time with Ms. Lombardo leaving. It will require 5 votes to select a person to fill that vacancy. There are some timelines on that. If you don't have the vacancy filled in a certain amount of time, 65 days, then the ECS will also fill that position as well. So any questions so far?
I didn't hear you. How many days? 65, you said?
You have a total of 65 days from the date of the vacancy. I believe Ms. Lombardo's vacancy is effective June 30th, right? You said June 30th? Yes. So
Okay, yeah.
65 days from June 30th.
And also, instead of having that venting at a board meeting, why couldn't we have a special meeting? I mean, we could have a special meeting.
Yes, it has to happen at a board meeting, whether it's a special meeting or a regular meeting.
All right, we'll leave it up to the board.
It's usually been a special meeting.
Right.
It's usually been a special meeting.
Yeah. So, but I think Patrick said at the next board meeting. I'm saying a separate special meeting.
No, I just meant any board meeting.
Guess what? What happens?
Just called it a board meeting because it's going to be considered an official board meeting.
Right, so that would be the duty of the vice president to call the special meeting.
Mr. Carrick, a question on the process, just, is it 5 votes, regardless of the number of members present at the meeting?
Yes. Yeah, so there are a number of votes, there are a number of votes under the law that require a majority of the full membership. All personnel actions require a majority of the full membership. So that's 5 out of 9. Even if there's only 6 board members present at the meeting, you would still need 5. Same thing for for a board member, you need 5 out of the remaining 8.
Well, I would think that if you're gonna have a meeting like that, you should make sure you all can attend it. That's a pretty important one not to miss. Unless you don't want to be there.
Question.
Anybody else have questions about it?
Yes. So if we intend to have a special meeting, which I am operating on the expectation that is the case, when do we decide that meeting date? Is that on the application? Or like on the, where people see? How do we, you know what I'm saying?
There's a pick it
What
now.
was the question?
Pick it now.
You could pick it now or in the future or whatever you want.
Pick it now, you could have.
All right, so we can pick it right now, because I know for me, I travel a little bit in the summer. So I'd prefer to pick it sooner rather than later. And I assume other people also travel.
But you have to have the posting up for 10 days. so.
Yeah, but I mean just the date, not the person, obviously.
We have to
So real
allow time. for the
quick
application.
question in regards to, so we do have to put the posting out, stating anyone that is interested. And how long does that posting last? Just so when we're looking for a meeting, we're looking to see when that would be ending, and then we have time to get together to meet.
Technically, yes.
So I don't recall the last time, how long it was. Generally speaking, we would recommend you put it out for a reasonable amount of time. It'll say when the length of time is in the window. We are very strict about that. So when the last day is in there, applications that would be received afterwards, they don't get
I
interviewed.
think it was 10 days.
And I believe you're right. I think it was 10 days. It's not 10 days by law, but I think that it was 10 days last time we did it.
So just for a time record, my last official day will be June 21st. So you can post it after that.
Okay, I apologize. I thought you had said June
Yeah,
30th.
I just confirmed the date.
So that's Ms. Lombardo's last day, but we know that she's leaving, so we can post it earlier than that.
Oh, there you go.
When is our current board meeting in July?
19th. That correct?
Yeah, I
19th.
don't think it's definitely, my opinion is you shouldn't have it during the board meeting. I don't doubt you'll be here
I
days.
agree. Just good to know when that date is to build it around.
I'm pretty sure the last 3 times or 2 times we did it, you posted it for 10 days. And then the meeting was shortly after that. And then that night is you either appoint or you don't. And tell them
So-
what happens if they don't come to a consensus.
Do we want to do the 12th of July? Because then if we post it on the 21st, the 5th is 2 weeks, and then we could do the 12th. Does that work for other people?
What are we doing?
So
Well,
do it
that
at the
I
beginning of
know.
the community meeting? Does that
Liam,
make sense?
I don't know.
Liam, the 12th of July, which is a Wednesday, and it follows the week of the 4th of July. So that does make sense.
Well, we could do a different day that week. Is all I'm
But yeah,
saying.
the week of the 10th, 10, 11, 12,
Now,
or 13. Fridays, I
you'll
don't,
have to wait.
Fridays
till
I have to have
20th.
pizza.
The 12th, just so you know, are committee meetings.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. All right,
So we don't need to do the day of the 12th. I'm saying, is
Right.
there
Is
there a day that week that would work for others? If
Prefer-
not, we can find a different week.
So
Liam, preferably the 10th would work. I mean, it's a Monday.
I can't do the 10th.
I'm on
I did
vacation.
10.
What's the 10th?
or the 11th.
Is that on Monday or what?
It's a Monday. That's the Monday you just said.
The
But
week
Mr. King is on
Before
vacation.
I'm on
So
vacation.
what about the week of our meeting, perhaps the 17th?
I'm on vacation that week too.
But I don't want to get involved, but you can post it now.
17th,
Patrick
then,
said. You
yeah.
don't have to wait till the 21st to post.
So is there any other availability the week of the 10th? Does anyone anyone else have availability?
Mr. King is on
besides-
vacation those 2 weeks.
Oh, for both weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kanky, you're back the week of the 24th.
Actually back on the 21st.
I don't want to do a Friday.
Yeah, we're not doing Friday.
So I'm good, Monday, the 24th, 25th.
Is anyone else?
So you're
good on
gone from the 21st for the 10th to the 21st?
Actually, I'm going from the 6th to the 21st.
Okay, I'll ask you.
Not
about that.
judge, but how about July 24th? Does anyone have a conflict for the 24th of July?
Which is,
Monday.
which is after the meeting, after the regular meeting.
Right.
Right.
That person misses a meeting, that's fine.
I should be available. I say should because
So I won't be here
those-
for the regular
my
meeting.
wife wants to go.
You need to be.
I'll be in South Carolina.
Maybe we can move the meeting to South
Okay.
Carolina.
There you
Any
go.
objections to the 24th?
Well,
So,
actually, maybe you can move the meeting.
If
to the
everyone,
23rd.
is
Be
everyone
in Charleston, so we can move it to there.
with the week of the 24th, or Mr. Kenka?
I'm
you're happy?
good.
Okay,
She's
on that
saying
week.
on the 24th.
so is everybody comfortable with the 24th? Okay, so
Yes.
can we tentatively put that in the calendar, or tentatively go with that date if everyone can save that date for tentatively moving forward to do interviews
Monday?
for a special meeting?
That Monday.
Yes.
Correct.
Can I make just a recommendation perhaps? I don't remember if July 11th was, July 19th was picked because we needed to have the meeting earlier. But if we actually had it that following week, then we'd potentially have a new board member and Mr. Kinka back. Does it make sense to move our own meeting back to the 20? If,
Except Mr. Kanka will be on vacation.
No, not
No,
on
not on the 26th. He's on
No,
vacation on
but
the
he'll be on
19th.
vacation the 19th.
Correct.
Correct.
She's
So that's
saying
why
July.
we would move our meeting from the 19th to the 26th.
No, but
As
he
long
won't
as
be
it would-
here for the interviews then.
But then he won't.
Yeah, he's gonna be here on the 24th. The
Oh.
interview is the 24th. So then 2 days later would be our board meeting.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Does that make any sense to anyone? If so,
I'm-
I will make a
Makes
formal
sense to me.
motion.
So I'll be able to make.
Makes sense if you're not thinking of everybody else. Yes.
Is
it
the
does.
administration, is that okay? Or do you have to
I-
look?
Seeing some folks, but if
I-
a couple can, if not, everybody can.
Yeah, I'm not happy
It
with
looks
that.
like.
So what do we need, Patrick? Can you?
I'm not happy with
We
that.
have enough to operate a bit, a
Please.
meeting. We're good. Yeah?
I-
You're good?
So Patrick's gonna say what we need to do now, so we can get moving.
Patrick's gonna say what?
He's gonna tell you what you need to do.
Just send Michael.
It's, yeah, and actually, the board president can call and adjourn meetings. So we can just have Ms. Thornton issue an email to Ms.
No,
Atwood.
but don't we have to make a motion to move the other meeting to July 26th?
So the board
now?
president can
Okay. Can I get a
reschedule.
motion to move the July meeting to July 26th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Ms. Atwood?
No,
Okay, then the
I'm
24th,
gonna be here.
You're not here?
the
The last
20,
week of July.
the
normally,
24th is good still with him?
I think I'm
do
here.
What you gotta do.
Check my major. my
Uh,
calendar.
You better make sure.
Nobody can hear anybody.
Yeah, I did. You have to call it
I didn't know we were actually voting on it. I'm sorry. So a motion,
to move the July meeting to July
26th.
26th. But is Tony there?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Abstain? Where's a no?
I said no.
Mr. Salantano.
Mr. Salantano.
Do we have to do anything for the 24th, Patrick? You're good for the 24th?
No,
Last week
you don't.
kills me.
She just schedules it.
Normally away. Okay.
Well, then Tony's not available for your interviews. How's that gonna work?
Accommodate everybody else. What's the difference?
So I'm going to make a suggestion, but I will be more than happy to send out an email to make sure that everyone gives us what their availability is for the month of July, so that we can do our best to accommodate all board members so that they can participate.
Because we just moved your
We
board.
just
meeting
voted
to
on that, right?
We
26th.
just voted to.
Yeah, but she has the
About the
power
special-
to
Yeah, she
to
can-
change it anyway.
Just talking about this special meeting.
Yeah, she can change it anyway.
Okay, moving on. Hearing of the public on school-related matters.
I think you have no.
What?
So before that, don't you have
Oh, wait a minute.
business?
That's
We
what we
s-
just were on.
We still on other business?
Oh, you got more business?
I have other business too.
Go ahead, Mr. Kanka.
Because it goes out.
I realize that, all the families are looking forward to this, summer break with the kids from school. But, as I've been reporting through the years or through the year, about our food service, deficiencies with the funds, I'm going to appeal to all the families that when it's time for the children to come back to school, please submit your applications for the free and reduced so we can eliminate some of these deficits that we're we're getting right now. So I know everybody's happy to go to the shore or wherever you're going to go, and school's the last thing on your mind, but when you're coming back, make sure you fill out those applications for the lunch programs. Thank you.
Madam President, I know this isn't going to be popular, but I'd like to put a lid on this. So we have some unfinished business from last month. And I want to address the community because I'm hearing that there is some concern that if we, the board members, address the findings of the committee that came back with their recommendation for genderqueer, that we are going around the process. However, that is not the truth. And according to our board attorney, we here on the board actually should be weighing in for true transparency on how whether we agree or we disagree with the committee's findings. Furthermore, the committee was selected. It wasn't unanimous. It was behind closed doors. And we, the board members, have been elected to serve you, the public. So I would hope that all of the board members here are for transparency, because that's what I would like to achieve tonight. And I would hope that no matter where you are on this issue, that we can achieve that. So anyway, to reiterate, last month we heard a detailed, lengthy review from Ms. Harvey from the majority of that committee. Again, it was not unanimous as to why the book Genderqueer should stay in the library. I gave a quick rebuttal, 3 reasons as to why Genderqueer can be decommissioned. It's not age appropriate, doesn't fit our curriculum standards, and we heard from Madam President, Ms. Lombardo, that it's not being used. We have decommissioned hundreds of books for some of these same reasons in the past. Genderqueer is being challenged because it's sexually explicit. It has images of young people engaging in sex acts. And the stakeholders are asking to have this book removed because it's not age appropriate. Also, it was brought to my attention this evening by a colleague that there's also material in this book that leads kids to a website that is now being sued for illegal activity. I would hope that no one sitting up here would approve Penthouse, Playboy, or any other erotica for our heterosexual community. And we should have the same standards for our LGBTQ community as well. However, we have heard repeatedly that we need to have LGBTQ representation in our libraries. Enough. Please let me share with you these facts. In Hamilton West, we have 95 LGBTQ books, 24 books on American presidents, 21 books on careers. In Nottingham, we have 96 LGBTQ books, 7 books on American presidents, 52 books on careers. And in Steinert, we have 123 LGBTQ books, 6 books on American presidents, 51 books on vocations and careers. This is one book that is sexually explicit and not age appropriate. I make a motion to decommission Genderqueer. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Can we get a roll call vote, please?
We'd like to have discussion.
Yes, discussion, please.
I would actually like to make a motion to table this. I think that there are issues that, first off, it's the end of the school year, and I've been told by the librarian that there are no books that are able to be checked out at this point in the school year. Therefore, there is no rush. We don't need to act on tonight. Second, goes into that very same issue, is the fact that this was not listed on our agenda. And that is an issue that could be determined to be a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act under Chris Fossey versus Governing Body of Oakland, 156 NJ Super 182, Appellate Division 1978, where it can be shown that the governing body published an agenda, circulated it, and intentionally omitted
items from the agenda, then it could be voided. And therefore, in order to protect against that, Mrs. Burns's motion can be brought on the July agenda with notice to the public that would comply. And there is no harm because like I said, they can't actually they can't borrow the book. So we can list this for a July
There's a
agenda.
precedent for that. We've had a roll call vote on in the past, but that wasn't on the agenda when Mrs. Harvey
I'm not
passed
done.
it.
I have,
Excuse me, Patrick's gonna chime in on that one part first.
Okay.
Wait.
well, can I
So-
give the
That
4
one
reasons for tabling or no?
No, so there's a motion to table, which is not a debatable motion. It requires a second. If there's a second, then it just gets a vote.
Second.
But Tony also gave me a second.
I don't, the motion to table takes precedence over the pending motion, and you have to vote on the motion to table first. If it's tabled, then the motion that you made is moved to the next meeting, if it's brought back. If the motion to table fails, then your motion is up for debate.
And a roll call vote on the motion to table, please.
I'd like to just make a comment before we do that. All of us here.
This
who
is
were
not debatable, though.
don't
We
think you
can't, can't make a comment on a motion to table.
Let's clarify that it's not against the
Because I-
Public Meeting Act, though. What we
Yeah,
just did.
yeah, I understand Board Member Harvey's point on the Open Public Meetings Act. I mean, I don't think the agenda was published with the intent to circumvent based on the processes for publishing an agenda. But regardless of that, there's a motion to table pending. So would the board secretary please call a roll call vote?
Please clarify what the vote is for.
This is to table the motion to remove genderqueer from the library,
To discuss.
to table the motion to remove it.
Mr. Kanka,
Yes.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes.
Ms. Thornton,
Yes.
Ms. Byrne,
No.
Mr. Salantano,
No,
Dr. Farrar,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Abstain.
Ms. Harvey,
Yes.
Ms. Lombardo.
Abstain.
Motion passes.
Okay,
it's even better. It's even better.
Or now. So now what's next?
that's it. The other motion is now tabled.
So does it automatically go on the July agenda?
It doesn't, not automatic.
How does it get on there?
So for clarification, will this be brought up next month for a vote?
So you'll go through the standard process to create an agenda, which is in collaboration with the superintendent and board president. If they decide to put it on the agenda, then it'll go on the agenda. If they don't decide to put it on the agenda, then the way a public body removes something from the table is they make a motion to bring it off the table, and then it becomes part of that agenda at that next meeting, and you'll start the process all over again.
Well, I'm just going to make the comment that I think it's a shame that we as public officials who are elected are afraid to take a vote to show where our stance is, because the public deserves to know we are in an election year. And I think that that's a crying shame. We didn't join this board to make easy decisions. We didn't join this board to be popular. We joined this board to make decisions that our community finds great interest in. And the fact that people aren't even willing to put on a vote how they feel about something is cowardly. Thank you.
Okay, no, we're done. Okay, so the motion was tabled. Does anybody have anything on any other topic for other business? Any other topic for any other topic?
I think it's a good
Susan.
week for summer reading. So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if people want to talk about a book, let's read it.
Okay,
That's all.
so, next we're gonna go. to the
Susan,
hearing of the
Susan,
public
Susan, I'm not
on-
done. You kept looking on that side.
No, I
Okay.
said any other topic to both sides, I'm saying.
Well,
Beat this one to death and we have it where we're at it. So there's nothing more to really
I
say.
just want to follow up on something.
Please,
Jason just made a comment.
about.
If you want to read it, you read it. I challenge any one of you that has a child, come and read that book in front of that microphone with that camera on, and let's publish it. I want to see where that goes.
Okay. Thank you. Please, can we be done? Can we move on now? Yes, please.
I got a comment. I was elected to this board to make sure that our students get the best possible education, have a safe environment to go to school in. I was not put on this board to violate the Public Meetings Act. I will follow the law that's set forth by this board and by the Public Meetings Act. And if it's brought up again next month and we vote on it, I will vote on it then, but I'm not going to violate the Public Meeting Act. That's not what I was elected to this position. You can cheer or boo me all you want, but I'm not going to violate the act. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka.
Richard.
Okay, we're not,
Susan,
please.
one second. How do you
No,
violate the public?
Can we
Meetings Act?
please-
I don't
it's-
get that part.
Well, it'll be on next month if you want it to be this.
It was already explained by Patrick.
Say it again on here.
It was explained by
I would
Patrick.
like it explained because I know that we were at a meeting where Christina called a vote
All right,
that wasn't on the agenda and we all took that
Can
vote.
we
So I
let
don't
Patrick-
understand.
can we
Can
let
you please
Patrick
explain it legally?
Yeah, I don't think that this necessarily violates the Open Public Meetings Act. The way the agenda is developed, like I said, it's developed between the superintendent and the board president. They consult, they create the agenda together. The agenda that is created is the one that is known at the time. Things can be added after an agenda is created. So I don't necessarily think that there's any violation tonight, but at this point, the motion's been tabled, so we can move on.
Okay, we're gonna move to the motion, hearing in the public. I would like to ask the board if they would consider changing, hearing of the public to 2 minutes each person, so we can get everybody in and not have to extend even further.
I make a motion that we move, or I make a motion that we allow people 2 minutes to speak so that we can get through.
Second.
All in favor?
Wait, discussion point.
Oh.
How many people are on the list right now?
11. Can we have a vote, Ms. Atwood?
Roll call or no? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Opposed? That's on page 1. I don't know if there's a page 2 back there or not.
No, there's no.
There might be a page 2. I'm not sure.
Him saying no.
John Muka? I know that the clock says 4 minutes, but I'll pay attention.
My name is John Muka, lifelong resident of Hamilton Township. I don't know what to say. We were trying to make some progress here tonight. I watched this board over the past year. There was a time when no one spoke besides the superintendent and Mr. Kanka. Very quiet meetings, no words exchanged. Now we have lots of words, lots of talk. I'm not sure which was better. It's better when you were quiet. At least it gave the semblance that something might happen that has something to do with resolving the unfinished business of these pornographic, obscene materials in libraries. 5763 policy on parental rights, which takes away parental rights. And now we await the secret committee's report on the new curriculum, which will happen at the next meeting. I think that we can do better than this. I renew my suggestion that we have a special meeting of multiple hours of the community to talk together and resolve a lot of these issues instead of trying to paper them over and just kicking the can down the road from meeting to meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Byrne?
Mark Byrne, I'm a resident of Hamilton, and my wife's going to kill me because she said she didn't want me to speak when she came on the board. So I apologize in advance, Stacy. She didn't. Anyways, I love my wife, Stacy, and I love everybody out in this room. You know, last meeting, my wife was mocked. She was ridiculed. She was bullied, you know, and she's afraid to leave this building alone. That's sad. You know, you smile at it, but it's true. You know, tolerance goes both ways. I believe I can speak for my wife and I, love everyone. We may not agree about everything, but we do love everyone. We want the best. And I would be the first one to stand up for some kid that was being bullied because he was gay. I've done that and I will do it. The point is, what this book represents is vulgarity. You know, at the White House this past week, there was Pride Month, and I want to say that flag up there, today's Flag Day. That is what represents us as Americans. That what should be what unites us. The love of that flag. If we love that flag, we love each other, we love ourselves, we'd have a better country. And try to understand, it's not a matter of anyone not liking. It's a disagreement about this particular book, but there was a bisexual man that just wrote in a paper about what happened this past week at the White House. And he was appalled at the vulgarity that was displayed on the White House lawn. And that's from a bisexual man. What we want is decency. And we would ask that the board that represents the public, you know, think about that. This book, look at the pictures in that book. If you think that's decent, I just don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Janice Klonick.
Okay, my comments are to Mrs. Lombardo. I want to thank you for your service on the school board all these years, the last 5 as president, which you got reelected to, which shows how much the board respects you as well. As president, you certainly had teacher discipline in your veins, which was definitely needed these past 1 and 2 years, with how nuts things were getting with the health curriculum and the books discussion. You absolutely kept things under control without losing your cool. You did always open up to the board to vote on extending the speaking time, even though it got knocked down to 2 minutes so all could speak. That public speaking time definitely needs to be extended to at least 40 minutes this year, so at least 10 people can get their full time. I especially liked at the end of the last meeting, your report on how you spent time researching the book takeout. And here we have only 1 copy of Gender, not once. The other books also had minimal distributions, which was great to know. All this uproar by the parents could possibly backfire and entice the kids to want to read these books to see what all the commotion is about. They might not even say, oh, a book's a book. But why do my parents don't want me to read it? Oh, I'm going to find out. And it could backfire and make them want to read it. I hope you enjoy your retirement from the board and maybe even come back and sit with the public on occasion to voice any concerns from this side. And who knows, you may be in the group that gets cut to 2 minutes too. But seriously, thank you for all your caring about our education system. And I'll definitely miss how you say my name when it's time for me to speak. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you. Ashley Hobbs.
Hi, I was so glad that there were no items on tonight's agenda regarding concerns raised overwhelmingly by parties not directly served by our public school system. But again, some struggle to uphold decorum. President Lombardo expressed last month, and I too hope that we can use this opportunity to redirect the focus of our meetings and the work of the board on critical issues impacting the overall health of our district. There are some great initiatives, but they seem to chronically fall short. In the past few weeks alone, I've had countless discussions regarding families in our community not receiving the support they need for their children. 504s for documented disabilities denied, students with significant needs being deemed ineligible for special education supports, students being suspended without follow-through of emotional and behavioral support, students being denied participation in year-end activities due to less than perfect grades or attendance, even if the absences were excused. Students with IEPs being sent to different schools for the inclusion setting. I'm a special ed teacher. That should be the least restrictive environment for our students. I implore the board, move your focus back to your commitment to the Department of Ed's Code of Ethics for school board members, item B, which reads, I will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. The parents of HTSD need our board to improve the educational experience for all of our kids. Rather than wasting resources to push harmful political agendas, those elected to put our children's welfare above all else need to work together to uphold their duty. Instead of Band-Aid approaches like metal detectors and armed security, we need fully implemented.
I'm sorry.
All right, I'll
Thank you
I'll
very
send you an
much.
email with the rest.
Great. Thank you for those kind words. John Fisher.
Hello, I'm a parent of two children in the district, going to be first grade soon and third grade soon. First of all, thank you, Ms. Lombardo, for your time on the board, and you've always been very professional. I appreciate that. As to the genderqueer, I really hope that vote does get on the agenda next month or for next meeting. That it would be great, but although it will probably be a little bit of a circus if it is on there, but hopefully it is. Speaking to whether or not, Playboy or Penthouse should be in the library, clearly they shouldn't because they serve a particular purpose. I think we all know what that purpose is. I do not think the book Genderqueer serves that same purpose, and I think it's very unlikely that anyone would use it for that purpose. I don't think that needs to be explained further. Off the topic of genderqueer or any other book challenges, it came to my attention 2 weeks ago, although I have no way of verifying this because I do not work for the school district, that in the Alexander Elementary School, the rising first grade and rising second grade have the same number of students in them, but the one grade has one fewer teacher, and teachers going to be leaving that school to go to another school and just have fewer teachers for the upcoming first grade. I don't know why that is. I can't verify that. I have no way of doing that, but it seemed kind of weird to me to learn that. That is all I have. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Rika Rubin.
Hi, my name is Rika Rubin. I live in Hamilton with my husband and two kids. My oldest graduated from West in 2020, and my youngest is currently a junior there. I would like to start this by adding my thanks to those given to President Lombardo. I can't completely understand how hard it is to be the school board president, but I can certainly appreciate it. So thank you. At the last meeting, I was asked basically why we were doing this. There are so many issues within our district that we're dealing with. Why do we keep talking about banning books? I appreciated the question, and I've been thinking a lot about it. There are three main reasons why I've come to almost every meeting for the past year to talk about representation and book banning. First, I'm here for all of the queer kids, including my own. You would probably recognize my youngest, as they've been to almost as many meetings as I have. They have to miss a dance class in order to come here. And I think we'd all agree that it could be daunting to speak here as an adult, much less as a 16-year-old. They couldn't come last month as they had dress rehearsal for their dance recital, and today they're in New York with their choir class singing Sweeney Todd. I'm a little jealous. In other words, they're being a regular teenager. But for my youngest and all of the queer kids, my oldest as well, I will be here to speak for our LGBTQ representation, whether we're talking about books in the library, trans rep and our health education, or the right for kids to be called their chosen names and pronouns without being outed. The second reason I mentioned before, as a publishing professional of 33 years, I will always speak up against book banning. Books representing have a place in the library, whether they are checked out 100 times or they're there for a struggling student to read on their lunch, or just to show them that they're appreciated and accepted. The final reason is for all of you. The teachers, the administrators, the students, and especially the school board members. My time is running out, so I just wanted to say I'm here to speak against the people who would call you pedophiles and groomers. Thank you.
Thank you. Fran Carroll.
Hi, Fran Carroll. I was disheartened by the motion that was made about genderqueer tonight because I thought that the question of the so-called dirty pictures in the book had been asked and answered and responded to so eloquently at the last meeting by our board attorney, talking about the difference between pornography and obscenity and pieces of art, things that have like novels and memoirs that have artistic value. There is a big difference between Penthouse and Playboy that were mentioned and something that has artistic value like this memoir that should be taken in context. But so that being said, thank you for tabling it, and I hope everybody will reconsider that motion very seriously. What I actually wanted to talk to tonight was about the track at Hamilton West being closed to the public. That policy, I understand with the new turf and everything. I was there last night for a project graduation and PTA meeting, and I and a couple other members watched a bunch of kids scaling the fence with their bike. There was a bike inside the fence, and that bike I turned away for a second, and then that bike was on the other side of the fence. I think someone's going to get hurt. Later on, when we were leaving the meeting, there were adults also inside the locked fenced area exercising. Someone's going to get hurt. There was a question to the school principal about this, and they talked about maybe it be private security, and I don't know that that's the answer. I think we should reconsider and having this open to there's some concerns about it not being open to the community, and can it be? What we can do about that. And is this going to happen everywhere that we put the new turf? Is a Steinert next? Are we going to close that off with the track and the field? And so the safety issues as well as it should be open to the community. But right now they're taking their bike and they're scaling the fence.
Take a look at that.
I'm not 100% positive, but I think that was closed because people were going in there before the track was even done. And they were going to ruin the field before it was lined, before the track was put in. And that's why it's locked. I think it could be revisited, but people would have really got hurt and they were not listening and they weren't reading signs. So we had to do something serious, and Dr. Rocco will revisit that.
Yeah.
I agree.
The
Well,
public
now
will
that it's
be-
done, it's still locked. I just.
The
did
public
Yeah,
that
he's
one.
going to revisit that.
The public
But
will
it-
have access when the entire project is done at
Yeah.
all three buildings.
Yeah,
District-wide, you mean?
yeah. Okay, Joe Jensen? Walt Connor?
Good evening. By the way, Mr. Lombard, I want to thank you. I know you're leaving and you did thank me for my service. One of the meetings I never got back to you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, I actually found out the meeting was scheduled today. I thought it was going to be later in the month. So I drafted a letter to the editor, and I did get it out as quick as I could on Monday morning, but it didn't get out. But the title of it was Explosive Pornography Vote in Hamilton, New Jersey, this Wednesday, June 14th at a Board of Education meeting. Now it's been kicked down the road. And it is explosive because it's explosive in our nation. Anybody, you watch TV every night, you see it out there. As a grandfather of a number of students who attended and are attending the Hamilton, New Jersey schools, I'm concerned about it. And I talked about this once before, so I'm going to just move on. The anti-pornography vote this week in Hamilton is a fire bell in the night, as quoted by Thomas Jefferson, seeing the evils of slavery leading to the Civil War. We are in a culture war in America. If you don't know it, we are right now, and this is part of it. Everyone in America knows that our fake Catholic president of the United States, Joe Biden, and his Democratic administration, and our governor of New Jersey and his Democratic administration have been forcing perversion down the throats of the citizens of our state and country, and everybody in this room knows it. There have been some New Jersey and U.S. school districts, and they're growing more and more, who have elected heroic individuals supported by concerned citizens such as Hamilton, New Jersey, and they're here tonight, who have taken on these horrific, perverted, and hopefully illegal books and curriculum that are harming our most precious commodity, our children. In the not too distant future, what the Board of Educations are attempting to do to our children will be looked upon with horror and stupidity. It must be stopped, and it has to be stopped at the ballot box. Let's see what happens at the Hamilton, New Jersey Board of Education meeting this Wednesday, June 14th. Sanity or insanity? Well, it was kicked down the road. It's not going to
Thank
go
you.
away.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you very much. Bye.
Jessica Trambino? Jessica Trambino?
Hi, thanks guys for your public service and thank you for recognizing that it's okay for us to talk about this. I just wanted to recognize everybody here that we are not attacking the LGBTQ community for wanting to remove one book from a school and all the schools' public libraries. I am I grew up and I was gay, okay? I am no longer gay, but I have a queer daughter and I am not supporting our children that we love so much in the Hamilton Township school system. I want to completely support everybody. We love everybody. Just like what Mark said, nobody is saying that we don't love you guys and own children that we also have, okay? What we are saying is that there is one book and a couple others that may not like Lawn Boy, but queer, gender queer right now is what we're talking about. And gender queer, I'll be honest with you, I am a victim. This is going to take a hell of a lot longer than 1 minute. And I'm not going to say that, but I am a victim of pedophilia. Okay. And I'm a survivor. And I believe that I am a survivor so that I can protect our children because I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself for what I went through. And so many of us have went through. Okay. Too many of us. And books like this, it encourages it. And I'll tell you why. First of all, when I was a child, a man took a pornography illustration book and showed me exactly what he wanted to do to me. Okay, this book has explicit sexual positions, oral sex, and other things, including a depiction of an actual pedophile. Okay, it triggers me. And I know that could trigger other children. So you're not thinking about the children that it's triggering, even if it's in your own community, which I'm a part of your community. Okay, so I'm just pointing that out. We are not against you guys for wanting to remove one book.
Thank you. Well, for the last time, can I get a meeting motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion passes.